Tarkov has many ways to create a viable kit that will get you to the extraction and out of a raid. And when I say viable, I mean technically anything you run can become viable. If you kill a scav for some extra gear, or you simply one-tap a juicy player in the face with a pistol, anything in your hands that can be lethal could be argued as a viable kit. Of course, when I say kit, people usually imagine primary, armor, meds, ammo, nades, etc. And for myself personally, late game kits can sometimes consist of more than one primary. I usually have the money at this point in the wipe to back up playing with multiple weapons in one life, and while others may shy away from it, the increased flexibility that comes with running two weapons can be quite a game changer. So today I wanted to quickly go over my thoughts with running two weapons, why I do it, and what weapons I usually pair together. When you initially hear two weapons in one raid, you probably think that's a dumb idea. You lose your gear when you die, so why risk more weapons than you probably should? And to be fair, that thought process is not wrong. But for myself, the added layer of risk with a second weapon on your sling makes that raid much more interesting. This game is all about risk and reward after all, so enhancing that twice-fold can lead to some interesting situations. And while there are weapons in the game that are flexible enough with the right attachments, that two weapons becomes moot. Having one weapon specifically for close and one specifically for long range can pay off and give you an extra layer of insulation. Normally, my go-to for running weapons is running an SMG of some sorts and a bolt action. If ammo, let's say, is not a problem at all, I would personally say the 45 Vector with AP would be my favorite SMG to pair with a bolt action. And honestly, any of the snipers will work in this situation. Again, if we're not worrying about ammo and you can just run whatever you want, the M700 or the T5000 are probably my two favorites, but again, any of the bolt actions are good. SV98, DVL, or if you're really crazy, the 338 Lapua Magnum bolt action. But now the larger question is, why? Why run these two weapons together when something like an M4, an RD, or an SR25 would do the same job but only using one weapon? Well, the answer is kinda simple. I just like running two weapons. For anyone who's played any of the older Call of Duty campaigns, remember those missions where you were given a bolt action and another primary to pair with it, whether it was an SMG or a small assault rifle? To me, those missions are the most memorable, aside from the obvious ones. There is something insanely tactical about having two heavily modified weapons on you, and being able to effectively switch between them, taking out targets at every single range, and you can do that with short medium with the SMG or rifle, and one for long and extreme ranges with the bolt action. Don't get me wrong, a bolt action and pistol combo still evokes these same feelings, but it's a little trickier to use, because unfortunately pistols in Tarkov have way too much recoil, way too much weapon movement, are drawn too slowly, reload too slowly. They're kind of a mess. And it sounds like they might be getting better in the future, which is wonderful, and something I've been advocating for a long time now. However, if you have an SMG, or hell, even a shotgun, if anyone figures out your location and tries to get really aggressive because you took a shot at them with your bolt action, and you can surprise them with either a hail of bullets or slew of buckshot, completely swinging the engagement back in your favor, there's something very viscerally satisfying when those situations happen and they work out. Someone underestimates you because they lack that critical information that a sniper might be holding something in their hands that can shoot up to 1100 rounds per minute. Tarkov is such a situational game that you may not have needed that secondary for many raids in a row, but it's always the one time it would have been really useful that you decided against it, and now you're back in your stash because someone ran up on you without hearing their feet. Again, this is such an outlier because the odds of these events happening exactly like this are low. But speaking from personal experience, it has happened before, and man does it suck when that person you could have gotten and would have been dead to rights if you just had a secondary primary kills you. And this mindset is very much a late game Tarkov mentality. Early game, it's way overkill to load into a raid with two primaries unless you're dumb like me and just forget to take it off your character. It helps with the inevitable lull in gameplay that comes with being 3, 4, 5 months into a wipe. It's a way to spice up your moment-to-moment experience while in raids. It's a very similar mindset to adding restrictions to your loadout or how you play to make things a little bit more interesting after you've accomplished all that you've wanted to in a wipe. People min-max the hell out of their kits, meanwhile I'm running around with a level 4 armor, a hat, and 2 primaries because I don't really care if I die. Not to bash anyone that does that, enjoy the game as you will, but it's just funny to point out the duality of how people play this game, even when they have basically infinite money and more gear than some of the vendors sell. But ultimately, it's just another way that I enjoy Tarkov. The added flexibility of having 2 guns with a more focused role in the kit, instead of trying to make one gun fill as many roles as possible, is nice. Gear comes and goes, so dying with 2 guns always hurts more, but sometimes you get more guns back, but the attachments are stripped off, which isn't too bad sometimes. And the extra tactical element of using 2 weapons effectively is always fun and very viscerally satisfying, no matter if the raid was nothing but scavs or you kill a fully geared squad. If this sounds interesting to you, I recommend trying 2 primaries with specific roles for dealing with enemies, whether again it's SMGs, a shotgun, an AR, whatever you think would work together in tandem. Let me know down in the comments if you are someone who uses 2 primaries and what your favorite setups are. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and subscribe for more nuanced discussions about how you can use multiple weapons to spice up Tarkov and your in-raid experience. I hope to see you in future ones.